brand new music from Deftones from the upcoming Private Music album. This is My Mind is a Mountain, and very nice here. We're going to be using the White Pony Drop C tuning. Alright, so C, G, C, F, A, D, and real kind of rhythmic stuff going on here. The intro section here, we're going to just start with a big E flat power chord, so just 3 on the C, G, C, 5 on the F string here, the 3rd string, and it's just 1, 2, 3. Then we do a palm muted open low C. It's once, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, it's a little alternate quick 3 there. Alright, and I think even at some little sections there, it's just a constant alternate, but for the most part, it's kind of like that. First hit, 3. Alright, and it goes through that a handful of times, and then there's a little drone note that comes over the top. It might be like keyboard or something, but basically it's just adding in that suspended 2 note. Okay, so you can throw it in here if you like. It's the 5 on the middle C string here. Alright, and it's the same thing, just 3 hits, on the 3 and 3, 5 and a 5. Okay, it's just mixing in that sus2 note. And then it's the same little palm muted chug. Alright, and then it just repeats that for a handful. Alright, and at the very end, it does a walk up here from that E flat sus2, the 3s with the 5s. It's just 1, 2, up to the 5 and 7s for the F sus2, a couple hits there. Alright, and now we get into this verse, which is like this offbeat, open, low C. Really cool feel to it there. It's just alright, kind of just like a quarter note thing happening there, but it's offbeat. Okay, so alright, and we crank that out about 12 times or so, and then we do the same kind of walk up with the sus chords, the 3 with the 5s to the 5s with the 7s. Alright, and then the next section, it's just kind of a variation of that, where instead of doing like quarter notes, we do maybe like half notes, or just a little different timed notes. Instead of doing as many, we just do like 6 strums of them. Alright, and then we do at the very end of it, we do a quick couple hits, and then slide 8, the 5th string here, the G string, slide 5 to 8. Alright, and the same deal, you repeat that a handful of times, and then we'll do the finishing on that, which is the same sus chord walk-ups. Okay, the 3s and 5s to 5s and 7s. And then just come off to a big C power chord, so just throw the open low C, and then just do the 5 on the G, and then the 7 on the middle C, and the 7 on the F there. And we just hit it and let it ring. And I guess you would call that the chorus. It's a real interesting kind of composition to this. It's hard to pick like what exactly is what, but this next section, I guess you would say, is the bridge. Alright, and it's coming off, like a previous chorus, so it's coming off that same sus chord walk up, 3s and 5s to 5s and 7s. And then there's the 2 guitars to do 2 different things here. One's just kind of like hitting the chord, and probably like Chino's doing like the lead line here, which is pretty basic stuff, but if you want, you can combine them, which is kind of what I'm doing here. So I'll just come off to this big open C power chord. Alright, so the C, G, C just open. And now we're just mostly playing around on like the G and B string here. So I start up at 7, and you just pick out a few of them, down to 5s for a few, 3s to 2. Alright, and then the second chord, alternating chord, is just like a 3rd fret power chord for an E flat. Alright, and just so I can keep this chord over the top ringing and keep the lead line notes, you know, we can pick out the notes here. Ideally, you might want to like slide them from other spots if you have the rhythm backing you, but if you want to keep the chord going with it and have the lead, then just kind of hit the 3s, have the 5 on the F string here. A few of them lift off for a few 3s on the F string. And then a bit of a stretch here. Go 7 on the middle C here for a few. And then give it a little bend and release. And if you can't hang with that, if that's a pain, then you can kind of like switch and just get it on the 2 of the F string. So you do like, I just kind of like, I don't like to really like break that chord, so I'm cool with the stretch. Okay, so a little option there for you. And now we would just do the initial open C part again. And it's the alternating chord here is kind of like where different things happen. So we hit the 3s again, and now we would just do 3s on the G, come over for the 7 to 5 to 7 on the middle C here. And like, you know, you could do, if you don't like that, you could do the 3rd string here. Go 2, yeah, 2, open, 2. So you'd be, or you could go, sorry. Okay, so you would have the 3, the 2, open, 2 on the 3. So a couple options there again, and initial part again. Then hit the 3s, and now it's 5s on the 3rd string to 3s. Then we want 3s on the B string, and then hit the 7s on the middle C or 2 on the 3rd string. A little bit of a shift there if you want to do it that way. First section again. To finish, we do the 3s, and then we'll have 5s to 3s. We'll just come off to D notes here, so I just kind of like to do a little double there with the 5 on the 2nd string, and then just open 1st string. Alright, and then the only other new thing that happens is at the very end there, the 2nd guitar does a couple notes over the top of the you know, the outro main riff there, and it's just basically B string, some 6s, and you just kind of hang out there with some vibrato on them, and then at the very end you just hit an 8, and if you want to just throw in the chords that are happening there, then you just hit like an open low C, and then when you go to the 8, bit of a stretch for sure, you do the 3rd fret power chord, and then the 8 on the B, or sorry, the 2nd string, which is A. Alright. And I guess you could just hit the 3 on the high string. I don't know, I always just go for the stretch automatically for some reason. Okay, so it's up to you. And that's pretty much it. So, looking forward to this new album. Enjoy.